What's going on, guys? How y'all doing on this Saturday morning as it is 12:52 a.m.? This is the Club of the Man 1993, and I'm coming here live for my very brief live review of Smackdown tonight. A show that I actually thought was decent for the most part. Then it tanked. It tanked. We'll talk about how it tanked because of how this show ended. Yes, there was one or two other things I would say I didn't like about the show, but it was decent, I gotta say, up until that ending. And I know, Tyler, you skipped SmackDown. I know you're not watching any of the shows right now. But I actually sat down and watched SmackDown because I had nothing else to do. So, let's talk about this show, shall we? We opened up with the New Day coming out. Of course, this is the first time that Big E can introduce them as the 8-time tag team champions. I'm still waiting for one time for them to get their number wrong. I'm waiting for them to screw up their number one time and say it. Because for the longest time, it was 2-time champs, and then they, of course, it became 3, then 4, then 5, then 6, and 7, and 8, and not 9 yet, but I'm waiting for one time to screw up. So, Big E came out, and of course, they hoist their victory. Big E gets a credit as he won Soul in the triple threat singles match. Big E starts teasing some type of sexual jokes, but then Kofi cuts him off, saying about all the great teams they have more reigns than, just to say they are proud to to be able to accomplish as much as people like the Hart Foundation, the British Bulldogs, New Age Outlaws, Demolition, Edge and Christian, and of course the Dudleys, who are the only team ahead of them. But then of course Big E starts going on some weird Tom Brady tangent in Tampa Bay, which who cares? I mean, because they had to talk about how Gronk is coming back as well. Who cares? Then the Lucha House Party came up. Just Lince Dorado and Gran Metalik. Where's Kalisto been? I don't know where he's been, but again, I know some people probably aren't there because of, the pandemic, but he hasn't been around for quite a while, even though, again, I remember back in August him tweeting 10 more months, but yeah, I'm still seeing he's employed by the company, so I don't know if he was going to leave or not. They came out to congratulate the New Day, but they're tired of waiting in the back for opportunities. They want to be the first to challenge for the tag titles. Out came Miz and Morrison. Hey! Ho, ho! Get used to that. We may not be seeing that much longer. Miz, of course, is like, you don't deserve this because you won it in the singles matches. You haven't been able to beat us in an actual tag team match. Then Gran Metalik came in, yelled something in Spanish, and then, was like, what did he say, pretty much? Then out came the Forgotten Sons. And believe it or not, I actually like this promo the Forgotten Sons cut. I feel like that's something that we didn't really get much of them in NXT, which kind of been okay, something I could take, wasn't amazing, but something I could kind of take a little more seriously. Steve Cutler's like, yo, I'm Steve Cutler, this is Jackson Ryder, this is Wesley Blake. We've been treated like trash after we served our country. They're the ones that are going to reign over the SmackDown Tag Team division, but then Miz just demands respect from him, and Jackson Ryder calls him a poster who played a Marine in the movies, but Riker himself is a real life Marine. We got a brawl, and then eventually it gets set up later on for a match with Miz and Morrison and the Lucha House Party. Not a bad segment. I mean, it was nothing spectacular, but kind of some fresh stuff in the division. We didn't see the Usos, or still wouldn't mind seeing Bryan and Gulak actually challenge for the tag titles, or no Heavy Machinery, but Lucha House Party, who I won't deny had an interesting performance in the tag title elimination chamber match, but again, do I really see them actually doing something serious with them? Forgotten Sons again was kind of behind them a little bit in when they were runners up in the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic last year. Never was the hugest fan of them, but I don't know, I kind of like that promo that they cut. But then we had our first Money in the Bank qualifying match tonight. King Corbin versus Drew Gulak. It was pretty lopsided. It was pretty obvious Corbin was going to win this. Although I still thought Gulak put up a good performance. Cesaro and Nakamura randomly showed up and just kidnapped Daniel Bryan into the empty seating area, which I thought was kind of funny. how it happened. And Corbin, of course, would win the match afterwards. He had Cesaro and Nakamura help him 3-on-1 attack him, and that was all he wrote for that. So Corbin's in the Money in the Bank ladder match, as we expected. Elias was nowhere to be found, I'm surprised, and Elias actually is not going to have a chance to qualify for the match to get his revenge on Baron Corbin for beating him down next week. But I don't care, because that feud is still pointless to me, as we announced the final qualifying matches for next week. And then we have the thing about Gronk, don't care. Sheamus then squashed Daniel Vitt. And afterwards, we have Chapter 3 of the Jeff Hardy Redemption documentary covering his 2017 return up until his recent injury. And then, of course, right after that, we have Sheamus at ringside again, pissed off because you were talking about Jeff Hardy again and not me. And he just stares down Michael Cole, grabs his headset, and just rips it off. Which felt really cheap. I'm just like, okay, if you want to make him intimidating, you should have actually grabbed Cole or something like that. But my thing is, at this point, okay, that's 2 weeks in a row or so that Sheamus has been pissed off from talking about Jeff Hardy after his matches. When it just so happened that Jeff Hardy's segment was next on the show afterwards. So at this point, I'm like, why doesn't Sheamus just go find Jeff Hardy and beat him down? I mean, I don't know, is Jeff Hardy not showing up at the shows he's not needed to right now because of the pandemic? Okay, I get that, but still, it's just like, it's just getting old having Sheamus just cry about them, talk about, Jeff Hardy over him, when it's just like, it's just after his match, whatnot. It's getting a little ridiculous. Like, get somewhere else this feud. Somebody pointed out last week, it's weird that Sheamus is being built up in these squash matches, yet he's going to be fed to Jeff Hardy and go back to nothing again. Because you got to kiss Jeff Hardy's rent and not, sign with AEW. But we had that. And then the Lucha House Party took on Miz and Morrison. And Lucha House Party won with a victory roll that Grand Metalik rolled on the Miz. So Miz is back to pretty much being the goon of the tag team that just eats all the pins. They're probably going to break up Miz and Morrison because Morrison keeps getting the wins for his team, yet the Miz keeps losing. Have we seen this booking before? It's so old to me. I'm sorry. I mean, the match was decent, but that booking is just so plain. Oh gosh, then we had this never-ending feud with Sasha Bailey and Lacey Evans. So, obviously, they've kept the storyline going with Lacey Evans and Sasha Banks. And this whole idea of them bullying Lacey Evans' daughter, it's just a freaking way to... This feels like they're really trying to shove Lacey Evans down our throat as a babyface. And I'm sorry, it's not working. It's not. For a while I've been saying I actually find Bayley as a heel interesting. I gotta be real, her past couple weeks, I've slowly grew to not like this heel Bayley character. I mean, Artifact keeps saying she's been like a third wheel to eat pins all the time. Now this scripted stuff is just making her look like an idiot. Bayley and Sasha Banks came out with a picture of Lacey Evans' daughter, Sunny, on a popsicle stick. And Bayley just stood on the apron the entire match, waving it in Lacey's face, basically, just trying to get under her skin. It was so annoying. It was pathetic. It was not funny. And to me, it made me just want Bayley just to go away. I'm like, Bayley, go! Stop! This is getting ridiculous. It's so old. I mean, what I liked about the match was, this whole idea that, obviously Sasha's hand was on, name was written on her hand for that women's right and whatnot, and Lacey was looking to get her comeuppance on Sasha. And I do like how, Lacey did, take out who she should have been taking on, who she has more personal issues with right now, Sasha, and Sasha was going after the hand, but it was typical coward chicken shit booking. And then Bayley tries to stay on the apron, but then Lacey finally snaps and just pulls her in. The referee had to make sure that Bayley got out of the ring, distracted from Sasha getting a roll-up victory that was just stupid. And then, of course, Sasha got pissed at Bayley. But then Lacey hits the women's right, ends the match. Sasha Banks, who should be in the match... Oh, here's the... Okay, I'll give it this. It's still continuing this idea and teasing the breakup of Bayley and Sasha Banks. Even though right at this point, I want Bayley to be a babyface again, and Sasha Banks to be a heel, because Sasha Banks, I think, is much, much, much more interesting as a heel, for sure. I'm sorry, her babyface run, I mean, it was good for a little bit, but then I just didn't care, because I'm like, she has the unique attitude of being a heel, not a babyface. I mean, I get the story they're now playing out. Bayley's getting everything to her head and taking Sasha for granted, but to me, I'm sorry. I don't want Bayley as a heel anymore, especially after tonight. But then what made no sense afterwards was Sasha and Bayley. Sasha was mad at Bayley for costing her win. Yet when Tamina comes out of nowhere, throws the only move I've ever seen her throw, Sasha's there all of a sudden there for Bayley. And Bayley just later looking like an idiot. What sense does this make? You have the crummy, Sonny on a popsicle stick. Does Vince use that for something else? I mean, he obviously loves Lacey Evans and, tries to shove her down our throats. Dear Lord. And, this was awful. I hated this. This was just cringeworthy, embarrassing. And to me, it just made Bayley so uncool as a heel. For sure. I mean, she's been fallen down that path, but to me, it just made her look like a total idiot. I don't know. So I hated that. Then afterwards, we have this stupid backstage segment with Carmella warming up before their women's tag title match. Dana Brooke rolls up, starts complaining about, well, you were complaining about me being in the qualifying match, but now next week you are. But Carmella's like, and rather than, they were arguing last week about their more focus on their qualifying matches than their tag title matches. But, oh, you inspire me. It's like, what does this do? I thought maybe this was going to set for like a Carmella heel turn or Dana Brooke heel turn. I don't know. Well, Dana Brooke, I never know if she's a face or a heel anymore. She's always back and forth, something different every single time. I never know when she is. So I gave up doing turn alerts for her. We have the match, super pointless match for the women's tag titles. Pointless. I mean, I like the finishing maneuver that Nikki Cross and Alexa Bliss did, like kind of like a modified 3D whatnot, which I thought was pretty cool. But Dana, I thought Dana looked sloppy. It was fast paced, but didn't really care. It felt like it didn't need to happen. Before we get to this ending segment, let's check the live chat. You are not happy that Sasha lost and not in Money in the Bank. Oh, she should have been Money in the Bank. She needed it. Lacey didn't need it. He wants his virus gone. The SmackDown side for Money in the Bank is crap. And then, yeah, we know the typical stuff we typically hear from Tyler. So let's talk about this segment in the main event. So all night and for the past 2 weeks, they've been hyping up the 25th anniversary of Triple H. Which I'm like, cool. Fine with me. We'll see how it goes. And then I look at the clock. It's 9:35. And I'm like, how on earth are they going to pull off this segment with 25 minutes left in the show in front of an empty audience? But I'm thinking, it's Triple H. He probably has something up his sleeve. So Triple H comes out. He then says it's hard to believe it's been 25 years. Then out comes HBK, and I'm like, sweet, this is going to be pretty good. He's like, I've got 2 words for you: social distancing. He wanted to invite a bunch of their friends, but under the circumstances, not possible. So then I thought, okay, maybe we'll see like a little tribute video from people over the years, sharing stories about him or something like that. But instead, HBK is talking about how they've been friends the entire time, and how he never really got a chance to thank him for his 25th anniversary show. And Triple H is like, yeah, that was a wild night. But he's like, what's your favorite memory? He's like, it's hard to say. But then then all of a sudden they're just like, that's true because I've never had a 25th anniversary show, HBK said. And I'm like, what? Like okay. But then and then Triple H all of a sudden tries to change the subject, talking about the office heads will roll, and Then all of a sudden HBK turns it into saying, let's talk about a video package with D-Generation X bloopers. And then it goes to talking about his WrestleMania moments and then showing all of Triple H's losses, basically. And then Triple H talking about his great opponents, from Rock to Foley to HBK. And then Shawn starts complaining about Stephanie. When Stephanie McMahon FaceTimes him, and Stephanie starts complaining, why is Shawn being mean to me? He's like, no, he's not. I'm watching on live TV. And then he hangs up on his wife. Then Ric Flair calls to, congratulate him. Then Road Dogg. And then it was just... Then HBK starts talking about something with Katie Vick. And then Mr. Vince McMahon came out. He says, congratulations, Paul, on 25 years. But then he talks about the gobbledygooker and how his debut went wrong. And compares Triple H to that. And then the Katie Vick angle, but then says, I love you. Time to go. Crickets chirping, and the lights go out, and then I'm like, what the hell was that? Like, that was 25 minutes of no flow. It looked very unorganized, very scripted. Like, that shouldn't be the case. I mean, first off, it hurt a lot because there was a crowd not reacting to anything at all. Like, I was expecting something like on the level of D-Generation X's Hall of Fame speech. Yes, they could have roasted Triple H about some things, but they spent this whole segment just roasting Triple H, just making him out to be just a goon, and that his 25 years are just a joke. Like, okay, yes, they did some goofy crap. Triple H did do a bunch of goofy crap with Katie Vick. But what did the gobbledygooker have to do with any of this? Like what good did Triple H come out of this with? This was just a waste of time, a big filler segment. I was bored. I was just sat there the whole time, just like confused to death, like, what the hell is this? It did nothing to me, and to me it just tanked the show. Like, other than, some matches being a little pointless, like the women's tag titles, I couldn't stand the match with Lacey and Sasha. And then this, I'm just like, this was actually a decent show. We even also had, I forgot to mention it, a good video package recapping the history of Braun Strowman and Bray Wyatt. That was decent and intriguing. And then this, I'm just like, what the hell? Like, Triple H is coming, I'm expecting something cool. It may not have been too great, would not have been too great because no audience, but to me it was like, this was cringeworthy. Like, okay, why hold a 25th celebration just to roast a guy and make it seem like his whole career is a joke? And literally just like have Stephanie bitching about something and then just have, have like no flow to this. I was expecting like HBK to super kick Triple H or something like that, or somebody else to confront Triple H about something. This was nothing. This was stupid. I'm sorry, this didn't do anything. It's abysmal. And that's all I gotta say. Again, I enjoyed some things on SmackDown, but then it tanked. I gave it a C minus. C minus. Don't forget about Triple H's loss to Benoit at WrestleMania 20. Oh yeah, but they can't mention that because, But of course, I understand more now because after seeing the Dark Side of the Ring. And also, Bayley's going to lose the title of Money in the Bank. She better not drop it to Tamina. She better not drop it to Tamina. I will be pissed if she drops to a woman who does nothing more than a super kick and only wrestles twice a year. It is not appealing, has terrible microphone skills. I'm sorry. No. That's all I gotta say about SmackDown, guys. What are your thoughts on SmackDown? Make sure you leave your thoughts down in the comments section below. If you're a baseball fan, check out my MLB preseason predictions as if the season happens. Also, make sure to as always, check out my WrestleMania documentary as well in the description box down below. I just finished my Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban PC gameplay also yesterday. I will definitely get started with Goblet of Fire sometime next week. I'm still practicing that game one more time first before I actually start doing it for real, since I'm still kind of new to it. And as always, guys, just stay tuned for more content on my channel. Slap like on the video, subscribe for more content on my channel, follow me on Twitter at DemandAir93. I'm out, guys. I will see you all later. Peace out, everybody.